Hello again. It is Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit. Talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad that you have joined us. Steve Post here in our Concord, North Carolina studios. Ashley Stremme from the Lethal Chassis Studios in Pennsylvania. Hello, Ashley. How are you?
Hey, Steve. Well, fall has hit here in Pennsylvania, and so did Hurricane Ian over the weekend.
Well,
Unfortunately, it's been cold and rainy, and that seems to sum up just about everything here in Pennsylvania lately.
but way more important than that, something else hit as well, and that is your birthday. So happy birthday. Now, the birthday has passed, actually, the specific date, except for in Ashley land, it's the month. So those of you that no belated birthday, you can send a card, you can send a gift, you can send a pie on the 30th of October, and she'll still accept it really, really well, right? Is that fair?
That is absolutely fair.
The birthday month.
Whatever once, right?
That's right. Hey, if you can pull off a birthday month and you have done it successfully every other year, why not?
Agreed.
Go for it. All right, good stuff, that's for sure. Hey, let's start and take a lap around the sprint car world. Turn number one, and you referenced it, rain, Hurricane Ian hit up there this past weekend. World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars at the National Open. Now, Friday night, they did get a little bit of it in, enough to be official. And, well, as much as things are new, some things are older, and it continues to be the same. Lance Deweese picked up the win, Ashley.
Yes, Posse is back on top again. I know we were talking about it. 10 laps, I know. I even know how Lance feels about it. He would rather go the whole time, too. But nonetheless, 10 laps is in the books. Lance wins, 56-year-old, 110th career Williams Grove win, 19th career World of Outlaw win, and his second of the season.
Yeah, and he's on a roll at Williams Grove with 4 straight there as well. Saturday, the remnants of Ian hit postponed to October 22nd. So the old infomercial. But wait, there's more. The Posse and the Outlaws, this weekend, they're up in your backyard for the Nittany Showdown at Port Royal. And then the makeup date for the National Open is October 22nd. So we still have 3 more races. 3. I had 2 fingers up. 3 more races of Posse versus Outlaw beauty. That is for sure. That is turn number 1. Turn number 2, Sam Hafertepe, the 35th annual Comp Cam Short Track Nationals at I-30 Speedway. And Sam Hafertepe, for the second time in his career, picked up the win, Ashley.
Yes, strong battle between him and second place finisher Aaron Reitzel. If you want to put that mildly, if you hadn't seen the video, make sure you go check out Sam's interview. It's very interesting. So it was Sam, Aaron, and then Justin Sanders in the Swindell Speed Labs number 39 rounded out the podium. A lot of info about I-30, Steve.
Yeah, you know what? We're losing a good one, that's for sure. I-30 Speedway, there's been all kinds of speculation about this, but Tracy Clay, the operator of the racetrack, confirmed going into the weekend that I-30 would no longer be around. The track was built in 1959 right along Highway I-30 in Little Rock. And I just Googled around a little bit, Ashley, and the storied history of this track, it's been known as Hammer Hill, but the storied history of this track is just amazing. For instance, 1973, the movie White Lightning, which was Richard Pryor's movie about Wendell Scott, part of that was filmed there. And another NASCAR great had a pretty good moment back there in 74 as well, Ashley.
Yeah, 15-year-old Mark Martin. He won the Arkansas State Championship there, which I would have never guessed in a million years, Steve.
No, just amazing stuff. The place has been around. Joe Clay purchased it in 1987. His daughter Tracy has ran the place for years. World of Outlaws been there 9 times, including 2016 when Jason Sides got the hometown win. I think there's still people partying after that happening. And, of course, the 35 years of the Short Track Nationals. I-30 Speedway, a good one, and sadly going to be going away. Hey, we need to step away. When we come back, though, we're going to talk some all-star sprint car racing with Hunter Scheurenberg. He joins us on the Hercules Tire Hotline. Stay with us. Sage Fruit is a premium grower, packer, and shipper of Washington tree fruit. Apples, pears, and cherries, and it's always an exceptional eating experience, and they're grown in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Not only is their produce healthy, but they are grown with such care and precision that you can count on each piece of fruit having exceptional flavor. High quality fruit, exceptional flavor, healthy snacking. Make sure when you go to your local grocery store, ask for Sage Fruit. Sage Fruit, it's our first choice for quick and easy snacking. Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit. Let's go to the Hercules Tire Hotline. Joining us, one of the greats from the All-Star Circuit of Champions, Hunter Scheurenberg joins us. Hello, Hunter. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. I don't know about you. My year has flown by. How has your year gone chasing those All-Star sprints all around the country?
It's went by fast. I would agree. It's went by fast. But it's also felt like we've crammed a lot of racing into a short amount of time. So this is my first weekend off, or last weekend rather. I should say, I don't even know what date it is. Last weekend was my first weekend off. Man, probably since May. We might have had a weekend off in early May or something like that. So we've just been running hard and gone a lot. We just moved into a new house, and they're not just moved in. We've had possession of the house for a long time, but we've just now been home long enough to move everything in and start to situate and paint and do all that stuff.
Hunter, since you brought it up, let's talk about that. Obviously, traveling up and down the road with the All-Star Circuit of Champions, you're buying a home, you have 2 kids. I mean, what's it like juggling all of that? Now you're moving into a new home. Are you really looking forward to the off season?
Actually, I am. Yeah, I sometimes I'm not. Most of the time, you kind of get to the end of the season, and yeah, you're kind of ready for a break. But it's a really, that feeling lasts for a really short amount of time. And this year's been different. You know, we crammed selling a house into the season, buying a home into the season. We're building a pole barn to put a race shop behind the house. Missed all this, and 2 kids, of course, and trying to buy and sell a few cars when I'm home too. It's just been a lot going on. So I'm looking forward to the time off just to feel like I can get caught up. You know, our merchandise trailer has been beat on for a whole season. It needs work. There's just a lot of things like that you just need a breather to be able to kind of rein things back in and feel like you're regrouped, I guess.
Normally, we'll start off talking about sprint car racing, but since we're talking about all the other stuff on your plate, you talk about buying and selling cars, and I love your Instagram because it's classic cars you're restoring. What are you working on now? Is there something in the shop that you're working on now?
I just finished a 67 Chevy 2. It's ready to go. It's done. That's been something that I think was probably, it didn't need a lot, but it took a long time just because we weren't home to mess with it. So that's really the only thing that's sitting in the shop. I've got a 67 C10 coming. That's a pretty nice piece. That's pretty much done. And square body Chevy pickup truck that is going to need a little bit, that probably won't get started on for a while. Some things in the works. And, you know, now we're just now slowing down enough that I can go out and try to find some stuff that I want to stuff in the shop to mess with.
All right. So we know in the race car world, engine parts have been an issue to get a hold of. There's different things that the racing world has struggled to have equity of. Is the same go for you when you're restoring trucks and cars? You know, is it hard to get parts right now to those things restored the way they need to be?
It's really hard. Yeah, we actually just ran into that problem with a 57 Chevy car that we were putting an interior in. The car was an all original car, but it really needed an interior because the interior in it was just not good enough to leave in the car. And usually I can pick up one of those kits off of a few different websites. They're pretty much done. I've got an upholstery guy that'll install them, and you couldn't get one. It was 6-8 months to get a kit. So lucky for me, my upholstery guy is good enough at sourcing raw material. He found some stuff that looks pretty close to the original stuff, and we basically just made our own kit. So it has been a lot like the racing industry right now. And I even see it trying to put the pole barn behind our house. You know, we want to move the race shop and the classic cars here. And just getting anything to try to even finish that project has been a little bit of a challenge. So I think it's definitely something that everybody's dealing with, and especially on the race team too. I think now you need more stuff just because you have to plan ahead on, maybe tearing up a car or losing an engine. I think before I probably could have run the All-Star Tour on two, maybe three engines, before we were having parts issues. Now you really need four to do it right and not have to worry about it. So it's definitely a challenge.
The sprint car world is very, very intense, and it is all consuming if you will allow it to be all consuming, as is all racing. We all deal with it. Ashley deals with it with the
Mhm.
chassis business. I deal with it with the radio and the NASCAR and everything else. Is your restoring cars, not only is it a business, but is it a great getaway for you?
Yeah, I think so. It's just something else that I enjoy, and it's something else that I can do it as I want to do it. I'm not pressured with a lot of overhead. I don't have employees. Um, I don't have a lot to have to cash flow that business other than just making sure that I can afford the inventory that I have. So it's pretty flexible, and that I think that allows me to kind of use it as a getaway. It can be like a job sometimes, um, but for the most part, it's something that I enjoy. Just like the Chevy 2. If I'd been home and we weren't racing, I probably could have finished what I wanted to do on the Chevy 2 in a couple weeks, and it was more than a couple months. So it was just something that I did when the race car didn't need my attention, or I was home enough, or we had a rain out or something like that. I got to kind of mess with that. So yeah, I enjoy it, and I think maybe later on down the road when I decide to retire from racing, it'll be less of a checkout or a relaxation thing, and more of a job type atmosphere. But for now, it's just something I really enjoy. I meet a lot of good people doing it. At this point, it's been great for me to just do it on the side because I'm building a customer base, I'm building contacts, and making some friends. I've got people that I've bought cars from or sold to, and they're guys that I didn't know from Adam when I dealt with them for the first time, and now some of them I talk to on a weekly basis. So um, that's been really cool too. It's not really just the cars that I get to have a little getaway with. It's kind of some of the people that I've met in it too that have became great friends.
You have 4 All-Star wins this year, sitting third in the points currently. The season's just about to wrap up here. And what's it been like? What's the year been for? Assess how everything went. Are you happy? Did you hit your goals for this year?
Some yes, some no. I think overall, we can't complain about having 4 wins. We're third on the win list, which I'm pretty satisfied with. I think we just need to clean up a few things as far as not as many DNFs, whether that's on my end with the driving. I've made a few mistakes, crashed some cars, and it was my fault that we didn't get some finishes that we needed. And then also, Clinton taking over the wrenches full time, and it being his first year, having such a big responsibility, and being so young to even shoulder that responsibility in the first place. I think it was a big learning curve for him, and I think he would say the same thing as me. He probably had some instances where he might have cost us one night, and then the next night I might have. But I think that's all part of the process when you have a group of guys that want to build a team, and you want to be successful long term. They're just necessary growing pains, in my opinion. So I think he's learned a lot. I've learned a lot as far as becoming a driver that just solely just gives feedback and just says, this is what I need out of my race car, this is what I don't like, or this is what I think we should change, instead of being the guy that's getting out of the car and making a setup decision. That was a big adjustment for me. So all that being said, having to learn how to do that, Clinton having some things to learn, and just kind of reorganizing ourselves to be a team that's structured that way has I think led to some less than desirable finishes, but it's also led to more wins than what I had last year doing everything on my own. So there's pluses and minuses, but I think it's good, and it makes me optimistic for next year.
Do you feel like, from a team perspective, we asked you if you felt like you needed a breather or reset? I would assume the same for the team, just to kind of catch your breath, restock, restack everything, get the truck put back together. Is that the same for the team as well?
I think it's more necessary for them than it is me. I mean, not just regrouping all the equipment, but we've got 2 full-time guys that they're either in the truck together, they're in a hotel together, they're at the racetrack together, or they're in the shop together. I mean, that's just a lot of any kind of relationship, a marriage, even. I think that's a lot of time to spend with one person, and I think I think both the boys just, Danny is not into golfing, Clint's into golfing, so if Clint wants to go golf, Danny can go do something else that he thinks is fun and just get away and have a breather. I think if you talk to any team that spends as much time on the road as we do, they would probably all tell you the same thing. It's I think it's more necessary for all of these crew guys that are on the road to just have that mental breather. We get so consumed with our jobs because it takes so much time to do what we do that sometimes it's just nice to think about something else for a change. So I think they will welcome the off season, not only because of all of those reasons, but I think the crew guys probably mentally feel a little bit better when they get time to come home and kind of reorganize the trailer, clean the shop, go through what parts are good, what parts are bad. You kind of get an idea of where you're at, and I think getting that figured out just kind of gives you a little bit of peace of mind too. So it's definitely necessary to take a bit of a breather and regroup for sure.
The grind is intense from time to time, especially when you're in such close quarters with those people for so many days.
Yeah.
Hunter, is there a place, when you guys are on the road traveling up and down, is there a place that you enjoy going to? It kind of gives you that breath of fresh air, like you're almost home. Is there anything that you guys look forward to when you're on the road?
Just trying to find somewhere that we can take the kids to do something that they might enjoy. The last 2 years, both years that we were in Pennsylvania for an extended amount of time, we took the kids and went with Blake Anderson to New York City for 2 or 3 days. And it's been a fun trip to do the past 2 years. Blake's a great guy, really, really loves my kids and gets to interact with them. Him and Whelan are buddies. And so that was fun to get to just go spend a couple days with my family and Blake in New York. And, I chuckle. I feel bad. We pull Whelan out of pre-K so much to just go race. And I'm like, man, I wonder what his teachers think. But at least if we go to New York City, he can say he saw the Statue of Liberty and, something historical where we're like, okay, he's getting some education out of his road trips or going to Gettysburg or something like that. But not really one place in particular, just trying to make a point to take the kids to go do something when we do have enough time to do it. Let them be kids. I think it's important that they don't spend their whole life at the racetrack. I don't want them to just feel obligated like this has to be your life. There are other things if you want to do something else. So just making sure we take that off time to add a little bit of variety to their weeks.
No doubt about it. And following your social media, it looks like your boy Whelan loves fishing. So that is really cool. A lot of good time with fishing as well. Hunter, we really appreciate it. Actually, we're recording this on Wynn's first birthday. So we know you got to get back in the house and get ready for the birthday party. Yeah. We appreciate you taking some time and joining us here on Wing Nation.
I appreciate it. Anytime. Thanks very much.
There we go. Hunter Scheurenberg joining us on the Hercules Tires Hotline. Stay with us. More Wing Nation in just a moment.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Welcome back to Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit. Steve Post and Ashley Stremme here. And Ashley, I love visiting with Hunter Scheurenberg. I mean, I just love chatting with him about anything in the world. What a great young man he is.
He really is. And it's his little boy, Wheelan, is just so freaking cool. And it was fun. He shared in the break that his daughter Wynn might be a little bit more than Wheelan is. It'll be awesome to watch those two grow up together at the racetrack.
Really, truly is. I love, and we've talked about this. This show started, my original co-host was Kendra Jacobs, who grew up, her dad, Kenny Jacobs. We've talked so many times about the McMahon family, sharing their family with us. I can understand if someone wants to keep things private, and I can understand if you want to share it. I love, that Hunter and Jessica share their lives with us and watch their young boy, Wheelan, and their new daughter, earlier this week, the day we recorded it, actually, Wynn's first birthday, and neat stuff. I just, the sport is in good hands with young racers like Hunter Scheurenberg out there. And he's a good racer, too. A great guy as well. Prior to our visit with Hunter, we were taking a lap around the sprint car world. And speaking of good guys, Dynamite Mark Dobmeier. Now, Ashley, there's been a great resurgence for Mark Dobmeier. Just one of our favorites. We got to hang out with him at Knoxville, one of our favorites. I love getting with Mark Dobmeier and hanging out with him.
It is. It's so cool. And from Grand Forks, North Dakota, he's got a really good career, too. 6-time Huset's track champion, 70 wins, only second to some guy named Terry McCarl, and 5-time River Cities champ, nearly 150 wins for Mark there, too.
No doubt. He's got 3 World of Outlaw wins and 14 wins at Knoxville. Now, where this story takes an interesting and rough and tumble turn is July 3rd, 2020, Cedar Lake Speedway had a bad crash. In his words, blew his back apart. And I don't even, and that's his words. And out of the car, I think Mark did a couple of things really, really well. He kept the team racing. He had various drivers in the car, including Dominic Scelzi spent a little time in the car, keeping that car on the track, keeping up with the technology. He followed doctor's orders as well. I remember he wanted to start 2021, and the doctor said, you got to sit out a little bit longer, and he did. And then just tended to his business, tended to everything. Came back on July 8th of 2021, Ashley, at NOSA at River Cities, and boy, he came back with a bang, that's for sure.
Yes, 4 wins that season in 2021, and 2022 is his full first season back. He has 7 wins. He's the River Cities track champion and the NOSA champion this year. So it's really cool, a really great Cinderella story. After going through and following the orders, it all came full circle for him.
No doubt. So kudos to Mark Dynamite Dobmeier. Going to be a nightmare for World of Outlaw and all-star drivers when they go to the upper Midwest. And sometimes even when he goes down to Knoxville, he is going to be tormenting them for years to come. And I just love that he is back. And I love that Buffalo Wild Wings car. Of course, I'm a Wings guy, so I love that. That's for sure. Finally, turn number 4, Devil's Bowl Winter Nationals. Next weekend, it's the 49th annual Winter Nationals, the Lanny Edwards Memorial, Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. Of course, Devil's Bowl, a very historic place in sprint car racing, the birthplace of the World of Outlaws. But while it's the birthplace of the World of Outlaws, I'll tell you what, Ashley, the ASCS history there is rich as well.
Yes, 103 events. Their first, June 21st, 1994. Some guy named Shane Carson, who's pretty big in the National Hall of Fame. Really cool. This year, the Spring Nationals, Wayne Johnson won the prelim and Seth Bergman won the big night.
Last year, it was J.J. Hickel picking up the win in the Winter Nationals. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour winding down their championship. Blake Hahn and Wayne Johnson having a pretty good battle there. There's your lap around the sprint car world. Ashley, we got about 20 seconds, and the Outlaws are headed to Port Royal. My gosh, it's got to be pretty exciting up there, that's for sure.
You know it. The fans are awesome. They always come out for this race. It's good to have the Outlaws in town, and we'll see who picks up the win.
No doubt about it. We will see. Thank you to Hunter Scheurenberg for joining us. More important, though, than all of that, thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation.